here we have Victorious. He is a 5-month-old buck, so he would be considered a junior, and he is from my herd buck, and I will show you how to pose him. So what I like to do is I just pick them up and let their feet pop down, because it usually puts their feet, their toes right in line with their hip. And if it doesn't, you just do it one more time and then kind of tuck them in if they need to be tucked in. And so his hip is right here and his toe is right here. So then pick up underneath their jaw, and using the jawline here, we don't want to use their throats because we don't want to choke them, but their jawline is super short. So we pick up underneath their jawline, and when they do that, you just bop their nose. They're just throwing a fit right there. And so if he does it again, I'll show you. And so when they react like that, you have succeeded in teaching them we don't do that. So set him up, and the more that you work with them, the easier that they go into pose. This little guy has not been worked with very much, and I thought that it would be a good start to showing you how to pose, because usually when you're learning how to pose, the rabbit doesn't know how to pose either. So okay, so he is not posed, but he was standing still. So I took the pressure off of him as far as my expectation, so that way he knew that where he was sitting was a really good start. So now I'm going to do it again. And something I want to point out is my thumb here, I put on their head for guidance and direction. Because if I just lift up like this, a lot of times they will push forward or look up, that kind of thing. And so now I'm just gently letting go. And you notice that he was dropping his head as I let go. And what you want is for the front feet to be in line with the eyes, so you can see that his are not. And that just means that he is underposed. And you can also see that he was pushing forward because he was trying to push out of the pose, and they usually start here at the feet. You also get a lot of leg extension if they're really wanting to get out of the pose. And you want that eye also, so you got the eye in line with the feet right here. You want that eye in line with the back right here. So as I'm letting go, he's dropping his head, and then I'll put my hand in front of him when I have him where I want him. Right now he obviously crouched down again, and so I'm going to lift him back up. And what I'm doing back here with this hand is I'm just pushing forward on here, not here, because we don't want his feet to go forward. We just want him to stay sitting on his feet. And so a bunny that doesn't know that this is okay and that, hey, you can sit pretty and just be chill and relax, they a lot of times, like I said, will push backwards and push those back feet forward. So now I'm hands free, and he's sitting pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and grab him before he moves, so that way he knows that that's exactly what I wanted. If he moves before I grab him, I'm going to repose him and do it again until he sits there. So for first day, that was really good as far as getting him to sit there for just a few seconds. What I would do is do that practice again, and you see that it didn't take us very long to get him to that point. I have worked with him a little bit in the past, but not a ton, just enough to get pictures of him. So what I would do to get him comfortable with it on a regular basis is just work with him just for a few minutes each day. And each day you'll notice a significant difference in the length of time that that he will pose for you without hands, and also a significant difference in the length of time that it takes you to get to that pose. That time frame from the time you start trying to pose him to the time that you get him posed will be reduced significantly, and the time that he poses for you and just sits there hands free will be increased each day. So and then once you get him used to it, then he will be kind of a natural. When you just pose him just for shows, if you're going to shows regularly, like once a month, it's pretty regular. Some people go a lot more, every other weekend, every weekend, just depending on what shows you have in your area. So once a month is totally fine. They do remember they're posing properly. A lot of people will do posing the week before shows so that they can remind their bunnies, hey, this is how we sit when we're on the table. And one thing I like to do when I get them on the table is I don't like to caress them and pet them a lot at first. I will save that for the end. What I like to do is just immediately or pretty soon I will kind of give them a pet or two, and then I will get them into the posing situation. See, now he's lifting up his feet. He's not comfortable. You see his back feet have moved forward, and so he is not wanting to do this. And that's just because his learning is just he's done for the day. But let's see what we can get from him anyway. And so his front feet are too far back, and his back feet are too far forward because his hip is right here. And you see his toes are quite a bit in front. So we're gonna redo this. So I tap his nose because he was not wanting to sit and he was shaking his head out of it. And again, it's not hard. You don't want to whop them. You just want to tap their nose, because you could pet the bunny's nose and they mostly, he's pretty docile. But most of the time, most bunnies don't like just even this light pet. So it's every once in a while I'll get a bunny who will do this for me, but so he's not really showing you what they usually do. But it's just a gentle tap. That's not too bad for end of the day. I'm done posing. There we go. So there you go. Of course, as soon as I put my hands down. So once he gets used to that, then I can go ahead and put my hands down and he should stay there. So he crouched down a little bit. And something else I wanted to point out that I didn't explain is I will, if their feet are too far forward, instead of always bringing them back to this point where I lift their feet and put them down, I won't always do this. So I will lift up under their leg here and just pull back on that that bend of the leg. So that way the toe is right in line with the hip. So hopefully that gets you started. And I guess just to show you from the front, just really quick, because he's pretty done. And a lot of times they don't like this finger down here, so they have to really get used to that kind of touch. So you don't want to overspread them. You just want them to go straight down from the shoulder. You don't want them to come in at a V. You don't want them to be out. So we're not going to get this little guy to show you the front. He's pretty over it. But you can see his front or his back feet are coming in front of his front feet, and so you don't want that even when you're doing posing from the front and taking pictures from the front. So the goal is to be able to get them to pose long enough to where you can snap pictures. There are a lot of really good pictures, really good posers for pictures, and it just takes some work to get them used to it. But this video has only been 12 minutes, and 5 of that was the first pose that we did. So he's pretty puckered. But if we were to do this tomorrow, he would come into that quicker. So, and he would sit longer, and I would probably be able to put my hand down or grab my phone and take a snapshot. I still am able to get snapshots with them just sitting there for the few moments that he sat there for us.